globalists are trying to censor what you can see and what you can share. Don't let them win. Go to our emergency election newsletter at Infowars.com/newsletter. Sign up for free and get intel they don't want you to have, and then share it. Infowars.com/newsletter. It's time to override the censors and get the truth out.
I feel very confident that Joe Biden will be elected president on Tuesday, whatever the end count is, but on the election that occurs on Tuesday, he will be elected. On January 20th, he will be inaugurated president of the United States.
Pelosi just signaled today that she is intending to contest the election no matter what, and even if Trump is the clear winner, he will not be inaugurated and Joe Biden will be made the president. Now, I want that to sink in for you, for myself, for everybody, because when I learned this morning, it was staggering. She went on national television, and now it's coming in that she's made the statement again, so it's now a talking point. These videos are pouring in right now. That regardless if Trump wins, he will not be president, and it will be Joe Biden, and they will inaugurate him, meaning they'll have a consortium of blue states get together in a civil war and announce that they are seceding and that he is their president, and they will geographically announce the breakup of the country. The final countdown, the final countdown. Here we are where we were 4 years ago on the eve of that historic election. And now the stakes are even higher. Now the world is awakening to globalism, and the forces of globalism are striking back in incredibly vicious ways. I am your host, Alex Jones. It is Friday, October 30th. The year is 2020. And then there's the 79 days of hell that I've been talking about that start the day of the election. The Democrats have openly said, first in internal statements, then in white papers, then in war-gamed operations, then in Democrat think tank statements, then in the New York Times 3 months ago, that they are going to contest, they know Trump's going to win, and that they're going to have Western states split off, tank the dollar in the stock market, have race riots nationwide as the cover, and try to drive President Trump from office. The big corporations, the banks, Hollywood, the ChiComs, the Democrats, all of these systems, along with radical Islam and communist China, are allied against us right now. We have put together a historic compilation of intelligence that we're going to air in the next segment of the last 4 months where they set this up to launch it. We told you when they were in the secret phases that this was happening, but now they've prepared themselves, they've prepared the public, and they're going to make their move in 4 days. That's why they flooded us with the 80 million ballots. A lot of people got 3 or 4 ballots, dead cats, dead dogs, dead people got them. So there's such a confusion level so that even if Trump is winning by 3-4 points in battleground states and statistically has a majority, and you can see that there's a bunch of votes that haven't been cast, but still he'd win if all of those went Democrat, they're going to say, we don't care, they're all going to be counted. And they put out so many millions of fake ones that he may never be able to get to that number because they'll never be able to count enough of the ballots to give him that clear victory. But Pelosi just signaled today that she is intending to contest the election no matter what, and even if Trump is the clear winner, he will not be inaugurated, and Joe Biden will be made the president. Now, I want that to sink in for you, for myself, for everybody, because when I learned this morning, it was staggering. She went on national television, and now it's coming in that she's made the statement again, so it's now a talking point. These videos are pouring in right now. That regardless if Trump wins, he will not be president, and it will be Joe Biden, and they will inaugurate him, meaning they'll have a consortium of blue states get together in a civil war and announce that they are seceding and that he is their president, and they will geographically announce the breakup of the country. How do I know this? She said it 3 months ago on national television, and then her surrogates all began parroting it as well. This is the UN ChiCom move to break up the country. Pelosi and Biden are just Chinese agents, totally compromised. They know that China will release info on them if they don't follow orders to destroy America. the communists will, and they know that Trump and the Justice Department is starting to move in on them. And so now they're cornered, ladies and gentlemen. Here is Pelosi and what she said. Here it is.
But we are ready. I feel very confident that Joe Biden will be elected president on Tuesday, whatever the end count is. But on the election that occurs on Tuesday, he will be elected. On January 20th, he will be inaugurated president of the United States.
Now, let's go ahead and play that for you, for radio listeners and TV viewers. One more time. Listen to her very, very carefully. Here it is.
But we are ready. I feel very confident that Joe Biden will be elected president on Tuesday, whatever the end count is. But on the election that occurs on Tuesday, he will be elected. On January 20th, he will be inaugurated president of the United States.
Now, notice that's not a slip. That's what she's been saying for months, that it doesn't matter what the election says. We're not going to accept it. And then we're going to have states secede. And then we will seat him geographically from another location. And that geography doesn't matter. The White House doesn't matter. It matters who they say the president is. Just like they tell you that the Hunter Biden laptop, which his campaign admits is real, the FBI admits is real, is Russian disinfo, and 51% of Americans in a poll believe that. That's obviously a skewed poll, but there is a large portion that believe if somebody slips on a banana peel, the Russians did it. Because the Bidens, they couldn't ever do anything wrong. And of course, they're telling you that Trump is to blame for the virus and that we can never get out from under the virus again. And they're announcing all over the country in Democrat-controlled areas that you're going to have an app on your phone, it's now official, to buy and sell, to go to a restaurant, and everyone must be registered and have a phone to be able to leave your house. Michigan's dictator, Whitmer, has now launched it. We noticed the first universities in the U.S. to say you can't leave the campus this semester, and you have to be tracked by a phone that's issued to you. That is now going statewide. So it's been announced in France and England. You must have a cell phone tracked at all times. This is beyond 1984. The headline at Infowars.com and NewsWars.com needs to be spread to the four winds. It is civil war is imminent. Democrats will not accept Trump victory, says Pelosi. And that's why you cause a civil war, is when a group says, we don't accept the election, we don't accept the president. It happened before in the early 1860s with Abraham Lincoln and Jefferson Davis, and you know the rest of what happened. And in that war, at least both sides had some serious beefs, and it was Americans fighting with each other. This is communist, Chinese, globalist funded to absolutely destroy the country. And I side with the voters. I side with President Trump. I side with common sense and my family against the ChiComs and against the globalists. But everybody better understand, the globalists wouldn't be making this move if they didn't feel powerful. They're now announcing major email services will read your emails and will not let you have an email account if they disagree with what you're saying. That's in the news. They're now announcing text messages are being read by starting with Facebook and others, and they're going to control that. If they see you saying you think President Trump won, then you're going to get in trouble with them. Well, you better not self-censor, folks. You better speak out now and say no and find services that won't act like this. And you better use email, that last way to communicate, and the telephone while you still can, to call friends and family and direct them to electionnight.news. That's our new URL. They're not blocking now on Facebook and Twitter for now. May get blocked in mere hours. electionnight.news, electionnight.news. And everyone should sign up for our emergency election newsletter for the underground videos, the articles, the breaking intel, who's coming on, what's unfolding, so you can spread it at Infowars.com/newsletter. Infowars.com/newsletter. We're going to add a link under the live show feed today with the headline, Civil War, to that email page where you can sign up so that we can reach you with critical intel, Paul Revere, so you can spread it. 4 days, ladies and gentlemen. 4 days, my friends. 4 days, my fellow patriots. You have lived to see it. World government, the whole anti-human, pedophile, satanic agenda, rising. But we're also seeing massive awakening, and people that didn't think we were accurate at the lowest levels and the highest levels of civilization are now completely converting to reality. Now, I'm going to play this 7-minute compilation that is proof of criminal conspiracy and proof of criminals preparing the public. Because if you've got a public conspiracy, you have to first get your operatives in line, you have to test balloon it, you have to beta test it, and then you roll it out. And so this is Pelosi and Hillary Clinton and all of them in the last 3-4 months preparing the public for the event that breaks the country up, which is the globalist goal. It's break the country up, it's devalue the dollar, it's bring in world government, it's kill U.S. superpower status to make room for the EU and communist China to then absorb the United States. Then when we come back, a special report I just shot, we're premiering here on air, of total proof that is coming out of what's really on the laptop of Hunter Biden. Giuliani confirming, indeed, it is pedophilia, it is rape of children. That is coming up next segment. Spread the word, Paul Revere's. Now, here is the open treason.
One of the things that I think we and other media need to start doing is preparing the American people that there's nothing illegitimate about this election taking additional days or even weeks to make sure that all of the votes are counted. In fact, that might be important to make sure that this is a legitimate and fair election.
The reason we talk about a red mirage is, in fact, because we believe that on election night, we are going to see Donald Trump in a stronger position than the reality actually is. We are sounding an alarm and saying that this is a very real possibility, that the data is going to show on election night an incredible victory for Donald Trump.
You know, Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances, because I think this is going to drag out, and eventually I do believe he will win if we don't give an inch and if we are as focused and relentless as the other side is.
You have a result on election night where it appears that Donald Trump has won, but a result after ballots are counted that show that Joe Biden has actually won.
That's right. We essentially built a simulator where it's a sequence of sliders, and you just pull those sliders to start seeing what the scenarios will show you. What's it going to look like on election night? What's it going to look like the day after, and the day after that, and the day after that?
So if one of the candidates in any of the races claims victory before there's a consensus result, then we're going to add some informational context to that post directly, saying that there's no consensus result yet.
We see in the data that twice as many voters intend to cast a ballot by mail than have ever before. They are disproportionately Joe Biden's supporters. We might have the results saying something on the evening of November 3rd that it will not say the evening of November 10th.
My advice to Joe Biden, and I've told the campaign this, obviously, is do not concede under any circumstances, because I believe the other side is going to cheat and sneak and try to do everything.
If he loses, he's not going to leave if he loses.
The fact is, whether he knows it yet or not, he will be leaving. Just because he might not want to move out of the White House doesn't mean we won't have an inauguration ceremony to inaugurate a duly elected president of the United States. But there is a process. It has nothing to do with if the certain occupant of the White House doesn't feel like moving and has to be fumigated out of there, because the presidency is the presidency. It's not geography or location.
This president's going to try to steal this election. This is a guy who said that all mail-in ballots are fraudulent.
Have you ever considered what would happen if the election result came out as you being the winner and Trump refused to leave?
Yes, I have. And I was so damn proud. Here you have 4 chiefs of staff coming out and ripping the skin off of Trump. And you have so many rank and file military personnel saying, whoa, we're not a military state. This is not who we are. I promise you, I'm absolutely convinced they will escort him from the White House with great dispatch.
It has been suggested that this is a trial run for the President of the United States, who may be organizing to not accept what happens when we have the election. If he's not elected, is he going to pull out? his military? Is he going to engage us? He has already alluded to there may be a civil war if he's not reelected. This is dangerous. We are trying to find out more about it.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It's really actually shameful. Enemies of the state.
Without exaggeration, President Trump's counterintelligence vulnerabilities are exponentially greater than any president in modern history.
So do you think the president is a national security threat?
I do.
This administration, this president has demonstrated that they have a capacity to go lower than we can even possibly imagine. So, yeah, I think we have to be concerned about that. His attempt to talk about mail-in voting and all the fraud that is associated with it is factually incorrect. He's just trying to set up a situation where he has the ability to delegitimize a vote that he might lose. If he loses, and I expect that he will, then we have to be prepared for what he is going to do in the immediate aftermath of such a loss and what he'll do for the time period between the election and the inauguration of the next president. We have to be prepared for things that this nation has never faced before.
I think that this is important because there is, unfortunately, I think, a heightened risk of civil unrest in the period, between voting and a result being called or after that. And I just think that we need to be doing everything that we can to reduce the chances of violence or civil unrest in the wake of this election.
If you think things cannot possibly get worse, trust me, they can and they will if we don't make a change in this election.
And if we don't meet this moment, we will continue to have these persistent injustices in our communities, and we will continue to have unrest in our streets because there's been unrest in people's lives.
Today we are lifting up these stories in the hopes that you will see the light, and if you don't, we will bring the fire. Thank you.
This is a movement, I'm telling you. They're not going to stop, and everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not, and we should not.
And yeah, I am radical. I do believe that we need to get radical about what we are doing and take it seriously.
I'm looking to the public. This is as much about public outcry and organizing and mobilizing and applying pressure so that this GOP-led Senate and that these governors that continue to carry water for this administration, putting the American peoples in harm's way, turning a deaf ear to the needs of our families and our communities, hold them accountable.
Well,
make the phone call, send the email, show up.
But we are ready. I feel very confident that Joe Biden will be elected president on Tuesday, whatever the end count is. But on the election that occurs on Tuesday, he will be elected. On January 20th, he will be inaugurated president of the United States.
We're going to be here election night at electionnight.news. That's the new URL that Big Tech's having trouble censoring. And I'm going to be here with a raft of incredible co-hosts and surprises that you're not going to want to miss. Believe me, it's going to be big. Tuesday night. We'll be here Monday night in the lead up. We'll be here the next day. I hope Trump wins in such a giant landslide that it's self-evident and they don't claim, oh, there's all these uncounted ballots, and they have Democrat judges say, keep it open. But they're already doing that. And they've said they're not going to accept the results. And when they don't accept the results, even though it's clear Trump's going to win, if he wins, and I think he will, their activists have been primed and ready to burn down cities the Democrats control because the police have been ordered to stand down like we just saw in Philadelphia. And all over California, Michigan, other areas, New York, they are handing out, the local cities are, plywood saying board up your businesses for what's going to happen Tuesday night. And all the gangs and criminals are online. I have articles right here, but I've talked to law enforcement. They've confirmed it, that all 50 states, the gangs and criminal groups, like Devil's Night they used to have in Detroit, that kind of drove business out of Detroit, starting in the 70s and 80s, where criminals would go out and carjack, murder, rob, arson on the same night. Halloween so that police couldn't respond. And that's kind of the same globalist program, is undermine the pillars of the city, undermine society, and bring things down. With 2 weeks left until the historic election, we're launching the biggest sale of the year that tops some already amazing sales. It's Black Friday, comes in October special, something we did last year that was very, very popular. We did it for the whole month last year. We can only do it for 11 days till the end of the month because stocks are low in a lot of our best-selling products. But two things that came back in and that we're now announcing at 50% off with free shipping is Ultra 12, incredible high-quality B12. Take it under the tongue, look into how great it is for your body's defenses, your health, your stamina. That's back in stock. And Vitamin Mineral Fusion with the zinc and the other vitamins and minerals that are essential and amino acids to make sure your body uploads it better. It's back in stock at InfoWarsStore.com. Vitamin Mineral Fusion and Ultra 12, the flagship products of Black Friday comes in October sale at InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. We're launching a new sale. It only runs for 12 days. We launched it last year. It was very successful. It is here today, gone tomorrow. Black Friday in October, up to 60% off, triple Patriot points, and free shipping. We got to sell a lot of product, even make 20-30% on each item. These are great items, and here's the good news. Vitamin Mineral Fusion. That has become a bestseller because people look at all the vitamins and minerals and vitamin D3 and the zinc and the vitamin C in it, and then it's got the cofactor amino acids to help you upload. It's for children and for adults. It's delicious, it's healthy, it's natural, it's amazing, and it's back in stock after being sold out for months, discounted during the Black Friday comes in October, Infowars.com super sale. And Ultra 12, it's called Ultra because it's the very best vitamin B12 you're gonna find anywhere. Take it under the tongue, you get the best absorption you're gonna get from under the tongue, way, way better than ingesting and it going down to your gut. Most people cannot absorb in the gut vitamin B12. And so you take it under the tongue and it goes in the blood vessels, hold it about a minute, and it's as good as you get other than getting a medical doctor to prescribe it to you to be injected into your fatty tissue. And this is not for injection, but it's basically the same stuff people inject. To take it under the tongue, super high quality, pharmaceutical, nutraceutical grade, Ultra 12, vitamin B12, two different types of vitamin B12 for better absorption, the two highest quality types. They debate which one's better, so it's 80% one, 20% another. And that's what the top scientists and experts told us to do. It's back in stock, Ultra 12, InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. We also have Dr. Jones Naturals that my dad developed with top developers. Very strong, 500 milligram kava root extract with other key compounds and a 250 milligram for folks that are 200 pounds. You want to chill yourself out, you want to relax, go to sleep and not grind your teeth off with all this stress. This is the best stuff out there. It's 50% off with free shipping as well. And triple Patriot points at InfoWarsStore.com. And don't forget, when you sign up for auto ship on your next order, cancel anytime for free, get an additional 10% off. 100% reviews of Kava Chill at InfoWarsStore.com. I want to thank you all for your support. InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. 888-253-3139. Black Friday in October, up to 60% off, triple Patriot points, and free shipping. And we got to sell a ton of product to fund ourselves with discounts that big. So thank you all for taking action now. Funding InfoWars is one of the most critical things you can do to crush the globalists. And you know we're committed and will not back down until death. The globalists are trying to censor what you can see and what you can share. Don't let them win. Go to our emergency election newsletter at Infowars.com/newsletter. Sign up for free and get intel they don't want you to have and then share it. Infowars.com/newsletter. It's time to override the censors and get the truth out.